Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio, and today I am doing my January Mission Inspiration Challenge, and hopefully I will get this uploaded in January. So I'm getting all caught up. So the challenge for this month, he's changed them up a little bit, and from last year, and going back to having prompts, which I love. So he's got a bunch of prompts, and then no color prompts, but some word prompts. So the words are rhythm, grow, heart, spectrum, and triangle. You can take any of those and use them as your inspiration. I looked up spectrum. I just Googled spectrum quotes and found a quote, so that's what I'm going with. It's a weird one. It's a Stephen Hawking's quote. Anyway, we'll get to that at the end. The first prompt was torn book text or paper fragments. Well, glue them. Glue torn book text or paper fragments. And this is my journal that I've been using for Mission Inspiration. I decided since there was no color prompts, I would just go with the very first double page spread, which I hadn't touched yet, and see where it goes. Just go with the flow on the color thing. And I'm just tore up. I have several encyclopedias. If anybody's interested in buying one, I'll sell it to you. If you have a particular letter of the alphabet you want, I probably have it. I've only destroyed one book so far. Can't remember which letter of the alphabet it was. But you know, it's the old young students encyclopedia. I don't know, from like the 80s, 1980s. Yeah, my parents bought it when my younger brother was still in school. I was probably still in school too, but it was for him really. And then they'd get little editions every year for a while. And I just have them stacked in a corner of a room, and yeah, they're just boring gray covers and lots of book text. So if you're interested, let me know. Anyway, I know, sorry, it's a lot of gluing of the book text on here. Now the next prompt, I let that dry, of course. Next prompt was add a thin layer of gesso or color. I decided to go with color, so I've put a little bit of matte medium on there. And I'm doing quinacridone nickel azo gold. Don't know what that's going to do to the blue. In fact, I didn't know, but I do now. And I end up covering up the blue. But I had done something recently with the quinacridone nickel azo gold, and it just made me want to use it on this page. And it kind of gives it a more vintagey vibe in the end. Not right at this exact moment, but eventually. And, of course, I had looked up a quote. I think I've looked up the quote by now, but I really, when I do these, I just take the prompt and see where it wants to take me. I don't plan all the stuff in advance. I know there are some people that, go through and think about it and plan it all out. Here I'm just using a baby wipe just to lift a little bit of the color, just to make it uneven. And trying to clean up the mess that went over the edges. And I'm not really liking that blue. So I am doing one of the prompts out of order. There's a prompt that says, make marks with your fingers. So now I have some white paint and some of that quinacridone nickel azo gold. mixing it together there, and I'm going to use my finger, making marks, technically, as I smear that paint around on the blue to minimize the blue. Because I decided it was a distraction. And I didn't, on the book text, I didn't pick any particular sort of spot. I just dipped into my bucket of book scraps, took the first page, and tore it up. So, yeah. And I don't think you can really read any of it. So, it's okay. I put a little bit on the other side too, just because the white gave it a different effect, and I didn't want to, I wanted to keep it sort of balanced. How's that? That's my reasoning. Alright, so the next prompt is add stamping to your page. So I pulled this one out. I am sorry, I do not have the maker on this stamp. It just has some sort of scripting, a little bit of ledger. I don't even remember where I got it from. Most likely from Michaels. Not even sure. But I'm just stamping it randomly so the background looks like it's been written on, I guess. And the color I'm using, the brown or coffee color, is very subtle. It's really light. It hardly shows up at all. You have to look really closely at the page, at the background, to even see the stamping in the end. Alright, so I decided I wanted the edge to look a little vintage because it was starting to look that way anyway, so I'm trying to get some of that ink on the edges, but my pages are just copy paper weight thickness, so they're not resisting when I'm rubbing, so it was really kind of hard to get any traction. I guess that's the best way to say that. To get any dark on there. You see me, I got it out again. I'm like, I really want some brown on there. This one is the Distress Ink Vintage Photo. I thought maybe it would go on better. I guess that's what I was thinking. I don't know. But if you haven't heard of Mike Deacon and Mission Inspiration, you should check him out. They do a new prompt every month. If you follow in his Facebook group, he does mini missions in the middle of the month, but I'm lucky to get my once a month done in the month it was intended. So, okay, the next prompt was to add a focal image. Technically it said add a single focal image, so maybe I'm cheating a little, but it's a combination. I picked this Eiffel Tower because I've had this piece, it was an advertisement, in upper left hand corner it says Lawrence Frames, but I really liked the image and the vintageness looking of it, and so I've had it for a really long time, and I decided it just needed to get put on something, so it's going down as my focal image. And then the quote that I do talks about past and the future and stuff like that. So I thought the clock would be appropriate for the quote. And the Eiffel Tower, the picture looks like it's from the past. So it kind of works. Yes, I put regular glue under it, because under the Eiffel Tower, because it was cardstock, and then this is just magazine page. So I just used a glue stick to stick that down. Alright, the next prompt was to apply splatters or drips. And I decided to go for splatters, and of course I'm just keeping the same color. I'm just adding a little water to some fluid. And it's a sample bottle of the Nickel Azo Gold. But yeah, I'm just using it to splatter, and I think it looks pretty good, and it stands out. It's noticeable. So the next prompt was add a quote, phrase, or title. So I'm measuring out the lines. I'm trying to be good, so I'm measuring out the lines so that I know where to write my words and get it to fit in the page, instead of just starting to write and having to squish it in the end. So the quote is, "The past, like the future, is indefinite and exists only as a spectrum of possibilities." And that's Stephen Hawking's. I'm not sure I understand that, what that means. Possibilities. Now I see the future as a spectrum of possibilities, but isn't the past already done? Like, are there other possible pasts? Reminds me of a conspiracy theory I heard about history being altered, like deleted from the internet and changed in some way. I don't know. That was a year ago or so. You know, you hear a lot of conspiracy theories if you're listening. But I try not to fall into those, but that's what it made me think of. If the past is a spectrum of possibilities, that would be why, right? Got a smaller pen so I could put Stephen Hawking's at the bottom. And I thought at this point I thought I was done. Like, I thought I was done, and then I went and looked at the list. I'm like, oh, there is one more thing. And that is doodle around your page edges. I did not want to doodle around the edges. Like, it didn't go with the antique things. So this is a pen that so there's my doodle. Doodle's done, right? But this pen is water reactive, so I just went with a brush and went over the doodling, and it actually kind of helps the pages because there's red underneath on the left side, but there's no red on the right, so it kind of adds the red to the right side and incorporates them both together, so it worked. Anyways, I hope you liked my page. I hope you liked this video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up or a comment. And thank you all for watching. Have an awesome day.